Where you outside at?
I'm in PG County, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool. I'm out here with the animals and shit like that.
I missed it.
Not even at the ends of the earth.
No, for sure, that's what I missed. But I enjoyed it though. Like I had a little hideaway for a life, so this has been a good experience.
Yeah, I think it's a little hard hearing you a little bit.
Oh shit! Hold on. You can hear me better now? I'm closer to the microphone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's better.
All right, bet. Let's do that.
Cool. All right, y'all want to get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So yeah, the Cypher is just like a journal. We're trying to just like push forward like certain conversations about what Black culture is doing. We just feel like sometimes it's just being like watered down and like it's not being engaged in the way that we think that it could be. So we have you because we know that you're like really, first of all, you like engage with Winter, which we think is like really fucking cool.
Second of all, you from Charlotte, and that's where we
Charlotte. Right. And then also like I think that you have like a really good like opinion about what critics are doing right now. I like some of the stuff that you were saying. So
yeah. Thank y'all for having me too, bro. Like that's actually super like affirming. And yeah, it's like flattering and I appreciate it and all of that.
Appreciate you. All right.
Maybe we should just introduce ourselves real quick before we jump in. But yeah, I'm Kristen. We're all grad students at Brown, so we're in the Africana Studies department, and my project, if you care, just thinks a little bit about like what it means to do Black studies, given that like Black studies is a field that comes out of political struggle, and so it's not the same thing as doing history, or it's not the same thing as doing philosophy in terms of like the way it produces knowledge. And that's kind of like why I'm really interested in the way that your work and your art and your music thinks, because I'm like, I want us to look at study from different views,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm Zuri, also a grad student. My work is, right now I'm really thinking with D'Angelo heavy. I'm thinking with Voodoo, and really just like viewing it as like he's really giving us like a praxis for living, really giving us like some ecological, some masculinity critiques and like all that. So I'm really thinking about music, I'm thinking about religion, I'm thinking about, I'm getting into like physics and thinking about matter and shit. So yeah.
Hell yeah. And it's super on both of them tips. Like first, like that thing about like, is this word? I think it's historiography or something, like the history of history. And when I learned that word, that shit made me like really like go to like a lot of shit that your project is on, Kristen. And then also, D'Angelo is my guy, like my soundtrack to live it and be at a job.
Yeah.
That's why we came after you, Justin. You wanna?
You can feel it in music.
Nah, that's one of the things I'm trying to implement more, like traditional stuff. As it sounds, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, I want to come back to that. Go ahead, Justin.
Wait, can you mute Kristen? Tell me if is my sound? Am I echoing right now?
Yeah.
Me and Kristen in the same room. Maybe mute your sound when I'm talking.
Why y'all?
I forgot about the volume piece. All right.
Yeah, it's like awkward trying to like our department is real small, so we like trying to figure out how to fit in here. But yeah, I'm Justin. I from Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, I'm in grad school too. I don't feel like talking about my project. I can't remember. We'll get into it. But yeah, I think just my into the conversation, me and Zuri kind of been like listening to your music. I think I first heard you like on Feet of Clay. And so we both been like trying to like rap about like trying to understand like what your music is doing since like back then. So that was kind of like when like I met Zuri. Zuri came and visited, and I was like, "Yo, you heard this nigga MAVI? You heard this nigga? You listen to Earl?" And like we started rapping. So a lot of So like a lot of our conversations in terms of like how both of us, I guess, like are doing this together come from like thinking about y'all's music. So so that's why I'm coming in.
Oh, I got 2 questions. One before we get started, and then I'm gonna take a brief intermission to piss. But my question is, 1, what's y'all pronouns? He, him, and then 2, where's y'all from?
Yes, he, him. I meant to say that.
Mine is he, him, but like I don't really care. You muted. Kristen, you're muted.
My bad. Sorry, I had the sound off and I was muted. So what was the question?
Oh, what's y'all pronouns and where y'all from?
Yeah.
Mine are she, her, and I'm from Charlotte.
Yeah, me and Kristen from Charlotte. Yeah. From the east side.
Yeah, on my road, Lawyers Road.
Don't play with them. Hey, Eastside, we the first ones to Eastside Worldwide. Tell them niggas don't play with us at all.
Right.
For real. Like for real. Hold on one second. We gonna get back to you.
Justin, y'all should go in a different room. Justin, move.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a different room.
Okay.
What's that?
Hey, so where y'all went to school?
I went to this like charter school called Queens Grant, but my home school was Independence.
Yeah.
I went to Independence.
Oh, shout out to Indy for sure. I went to the Dub freshman year, and I went to Barry the other 3.
Oh, okay.
But that's that new school. Like, so I'm older than y'all, so I wasn't around school.
I realized like the word magnet mean like, so basically my school is like comeback white people's school of the West. But all the niggas from all the sides ended up going there. It ain't really go how they wanted it, but it ended up going beautifully. It's like Winston-Salem Main Feeder High School. So it's like it's a good thing they got going right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's so nice to be on this bitch with Charlotte people. And it's so nice to see y'all from Charlotte and doing amazing things. Like honestly, bro. That means like super much. And yeah, bro, if it's any way y'all want to come back and tunnel that back to the city with me in any capacity, I'm always super down. Super down.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to get you exchange your shit at the end of this. So
for sure.
Yeah.
They're gonna be talking about how it's it's something's coming out of Charlotte.
It's happening.
Something is in the water.
In general, like we got Betty, we got Nina Simone, we got MAVI. It's like something is happening in the water in North Carolina. I don't know. I think it's it's causing an existential crisis that I think leads to so much beauty, but it's like, I don't know. There's so many forces colliding in North Carolina, I think.
Man, and we have, and the other thing about North Carolina, the Carolinas in general, like first, like, okay. Insofar as we can be from anywhere in America, most Black people in America is from the Carolinas.
That's right.
For one. That's why like it's like a mismatch of everything.
Yeah.
And then number 2, I don't know. Also about Charlotte, like y'all should tap in. I don't know if y'all heard of him, but Freddie P. Franklin, like, oh my God. Like he looked like Charlotte. He sound like Charlotte. Like he feel like home. Like really tap in with that nigga. Like he's another. We having like real. I think in this generation, real strong voices that's coming out, like and speaking for like the cultural character of the Black community in Charlotte right now, which I think like is super exciting. Yeah.
Can you? I mean, I guess like the way we were thinking about just organizing this time is just like as a conversation. So like maybe we'll just like weave in and out questions and discussions and stuff. But I'm really curious to hear you say more about what you think like the influence of Charlotte is in your music and like what you think is happening there and like what
it's everything.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's everything. Only because like, regardless of how dreamy or starry-eyed I can get about anything, I have to go home, you know?
Mm.
And when I go home, that's where people I care the most about for the longest length of time, about the most meaningful things is. And I chase this dreamy, starry-eyed kind of thing, abstraction kind of thing, out of feeling small by comparison to like some of the problems that my family, friends, and like community and stuff had to deal with like back home. And I think ultimately like that desperation for like to contribute is like the overall like character of MAVI, the mission that MAVI is embarking on. Like why MAVI for mayor? You know what I'm saying? Like home is the whole thing. Like Charlotte is the whole thing. That's the point for sure. And it's like, especially like with me and my friends in Kill Switch, like Messiah, Amir, and Skull, like these are people like, and even like Snow, like with her like Black lesbian revolution, Black punk revolution shit. It's really all out of like, we understand the value of a unique arts education. We understand the value of camaraderie in the Black youth. We gonna push that far as it's gonna go. That's the point of rap at all. Like in Charlotte, like for real though.
Yeah. I think like related to that you're talking about, like, I guess I'm wondering like, what is your relationship to rap as like a genre? Because one thing that I've been thinking about a lot recently is that like genre right now is just being like played around with to like I think a lot about like neo soul and the fact that like D'Angelo was like, I don't do neo soul, like I just make Black music, you know. And then right now like on Spotify and stuff, like they're really pushing this like folks don't do genre, like they're saying like people like Brent Faiyaz, like, oh, he doesn't do genre, like he's outside of genre. So it's like weird how like, I don't know, like genres like put on people and then they're like taken out of genre. Same about Tyler the Creator and that whole fiasco with how he won a Grammy.
Right.
You know, so I'm thinking like, what's your relationship to like the genre of rap, and like, do you think that it's like rigid? Like, what do you think is rap?
Nah, I'm specifically hip hop and rap like explicitly because for one, I think sometimes people run from being called a rapper because they don't like when people call them a nigga. I am a nigga, you know? So that's why I am rap explicitly. And I believe having being a nigga, hip hop got revolutionary qualities relevant to the experience of niggahood, may not be so relevant anywhere else, or may not even be in proper context anywhere else. That's why I'm explicitly hip hop, because I'm explicitly a nigga. Because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah. So, and also, I believe that hip hop is a tool politically that being a amorphous genre bending, I want the respect of white critics without being judged against any standard kind of thing, you giving up willingly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can you repeat that actually? I missed
like,
it.
I'm saying like there's political utility in being hip hop that the pursuers are like couching white critics in something comfortable by being this amorphous, like, bro, look at me like I'm not a rapper. Like, and you're really appealing that to white people. Like, it's like a thing like saying Black Lives Matter, like saying don't call me a rapper. Yeah. You're not saying it's no niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so in saying those kind of things, you losing some kind of political leverage on some small percentage to with niggas that I want to milk for every drop that's worth. And I believe hip hop is like, yeah. It's just like, for example, I know a lot, like, for example, hip hop is the major educator currently of the Black youth in America, period. Who in here know what a Draco is?
I've heard it. I don't know for real.
I'm gonna drink out a ruler. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of the word like a,
Yeah.
you know what a Glock is?
Yeah.
You know what a Glock with a switch is?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, these are not regular things for people to know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
And you probably don't know nobody who don't know what it is.
Right.
What you and other people got in common?
Black.
Being a nigga.
Right.
And where you get where's these concepts coming from? Because there's certain nigga concepts that we all just know, like how to dance and shit. But we don't all know what a Glock is. We learn this from rap.
Mhm.
And
Is that
we
what
all,
you mean when you call it a unique arts education? Like that?
Yeah. Well, that too, but like also like we had the specific ability, like through city programming, that to like go and record music. But then we seen like the limits because of like the anti-Black nature of those kinds of things when they funded by white institutions, that we were stifled in our artistic ability. And we want to be able to supply that for the next generation without those limitations and the barriers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we met there and we continue, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, the arts really is like something that we see as something that can change something into something else. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, what was I talking about? I forgot what we were talking about.
We were just talking.
That'll be everywhere.
Well, specifically, you was talking about like, you know, like.
Oh yeah, why hip hop?
Yeah, and what folks learn, like know because of hip hop that they don't know elsewhere.
Yeah, like for example, I know the majority of the words that I know from hip hop and reading books, like, but like the majority of the words that I know that is not really even a word, I know from hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Like the majority of what people have to learn from Black people, being that our relationship with history is like what we described earlier, is like it rests a lot on this disproportionately on such shoulders as one cultural export. And somebody got to steer the ship, bro. Like nigga just can't jump off the ship because like punk rocker sounds cooler. Not in 2022. We got shit to do. Like we at the crossroads, you know?
Yeah.
That makes me, I got a question then, like, it makes me wonder, like, what do you see yourself doing when you're making music then? Like, if you know that like, there's this sense of like responsibility to communicate, to like talk to this generation that's primarily getting messages, period, through hip hop as a form. But you also know that like you said, like the majority of the words you know through hip hop. So are you like translating messages? Are you trying to like reflect an experience? Are you trying to like, you know, communicate something to people to get an outcome? Like, what are you doing when you're making music?
I think I just want to contribute my truth, which means like distilling the information that I've picked up along the way into edible morsels. And then, so yeah, contributing my truth and then propagandizing. That's also why it's important to be hip hop. It's also why it's important. I don't know. I don't want to get that controversial, but
I mean, we all support Polina.
We ain't mad at it.
We go there. I mean, it's not a thing.
I don't know. It goes a few different ways. But for example, it's important to wield the music. I remember one of the best things Earl ever told me was like, he said, the music is fuel for the propaganda machine. And that was it. That was it. Like if you really want to do something, if you really want to contribute something, and you have this lane, you better play really good basketball. Type of shit.
Yeah.
Because you gotta yell loud over a lot of people saying a lot of different things. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why like while it might seem archaic to like cling to a genre, I feel like this is a genre, a swing state kind of genre.
Okay. Yeah. That's
You
good.
know?
That's good. Yeah.
That's hard right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was just about to ask, like, kind of like, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about like conscious rap and like how sometimes conscious rap gets kind of or we see when niggas try to get conscious and then it just comes out as like liberal politics or whatever because they're trying to be like too like literal. And so I guess for me, like when you're like thinking about politics, like what are you kind of like trying to, what are you thinking, what is politics to you, I guess? Like at what level are you engaging with politics? And like, yeah, I guess that's kind of like as far as abstraction goes and like not being too like on the nose, but also like
working to elevate Blackness to a level of political utility that elevate the quality of Black life. That's what my politic is. Doing Black shit for Black people to be able to do Black shit.
Yeah, that's interesting. You emphasize like political utility, like that's because a weapon.
Yeah, we need to be able to do like in the long term. You know what I'm saying? That's important. It needs to be able to be. It needs the well that needs. It needs to be a potable well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
that's why like something like Black Studies that's contextualized by struggle is still so empowering. You know what I'm saying? Because a potable well, like we drink from that, like for so much, and it's like deepening those wells, enriching them. You know what I'm saying? Making them atomic. That's my politic.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you had a question, Justin?
Well, I was just gonna add because, and I don't know if you want to like add to the questions there, but just when you're talking about just what do you, when Kristen asked like, what are you doing in your music, and I just want to add, or just like ask like additionally on top of that, one of the things that me and Zuri talk about a lot is like sampling, and then, so I guess, yeah, so like in addition to like the words, we're also like interested in like what, I guess like what is like, why do you choose your samples?
Yeah.
Like,
and
what
like,
are you doing with your samples?
Yeah, and just to add on to that, like what is your relationship to like to the like actual like sounds that you're doing? Are you to the beat? Like are you trying to like is it like your ally? Is it a comrade? Are you trying to like fight it? Like what is your relationship to that when you're making?
So sampling. Another reason why I'm like important to be hip hop, because hip hop is like in the oral tradition of Black people, which makes like cultural lineage. Like that sounds like a super abstract thing, but we all can point to direct things that we eat, drink, listen to that's in a cultural lineage with something else that our grandmama, mama eat, drink, listen to. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so sampling is a super big part of that on a few different levels. Insofar as like, boom, hella hip hop songs got literally the same beat, like, because of how hip hop was invented. You know what I'm saying? It was like niggas was spitting the break beat and they were spitting all type of different R&B over it. And like, if you look in D&B, if you look in Flips, you look in all type of like lo-fi, all of these types of different things, you see like that as like a repeating like motif. So just as my upbringing, just hearing like Sorry for the Wait by Wayne, you know what I'm saying? Coming up hearing the Sade songs and be like, oh, those are the Doom songs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is just And it also sampling guide. So the reason why sampling is so important to me is because sampling literally guided my music discovery in life, period. Like I was a young boy in the early 2000s when niggas was getting a pub deal and flipping everything under the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And niggas, you could really rap over the Izies or rap over this, rap over that, like rap over Teddy, shit like that. So just like, and seeing how, boom, like, I don't know, like things come home in such a weird way with sampling. And sampling really speaks to like DJing does, because you know that's ultimately where it comes from. The like co-intelligibility of like at least all African music. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Kristen, you got? Can I ask another one? Cool. All right. So this is something I've been. Okay, okay. So you said in a interview, I was like just watching a bunch of interviews trying to, figure out what hasn't been talked about. But you said, I'm gonna keep crying over this shit. I owe it to myself to make myself cry a little bit. And I thought that was like, I just love that. So I was thinking about what does crying mean to you, especially in the context of like Town Crier, last EP. And how does that relate also? It makes me think of also like this bleeding that keeps coming up with like Earl talking about it, Pink Seafood talking about it. And I'm wondering if like those are related. So yeah, like what is bleeding to you? What is crying to you? Like what
crying is more important. I'm not trying to bleed. Like, I'm gonna die at old age. Not a nick on me. I'm going out different. Like I'm taking niggas with me, but I'm going out without a hit. No cap. Hey, but listen, about tears though, crying. What crying is to me, like, bro, crying, like, literally, like, for example, if you too much of anything, a good cry is gonna send some good hormones through your shit. It's like washing the inside of your face and your brain. You know what I'm saying? And also being made to cry in any capacity, whether through joy, pain, immense grief, suffering, manipulation, whatever. It's like smallness in that like I miss and I covet. And that's rare for me to have, you know?
Yeah. I like this smallness you keep coming to. That's something I feel like me and Justin, I feel like it's something that we've all been talking about really with like because we've been watching a lot of like space movies, and we think about like thinking about like space and like the ocean and like these different things and like how they like, they just like cut across like a different layer of like existence, and you like are kind of like, damn, like I'm actually like kind of on a rock, like in space, like type shit, you know?
And you know why they think the Big Bang happened for real?
Why?
Because everything in space is moving away from each other at accelerating speeds. And then like, so like, like the force of gravity like is growing weaker over long distances. The objects travel away. It's getting crazy. It's a video I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna send y'all by Corza guys called The One Berry. Yeah, that's my shit. They're my niggas. But what's the name? That shit. And like that shit sent me down the whole like what is dark matter hole, like rabbit hole. And I was like, oh no, like we're immensely lonely, you know?
Yeah.
But against that grain, it's like the smallest sliver of grace. Like for example, like every photon from the sun takes like 8 seconds to get here. You know, it's really far. Really far.
Yeah.
That sliver of grace, like for example, when the motherfucker like I don't know, when the tilt of Earth is kind of like not in our favor, it's a whole different season for us. So it's like when you're this small and you're this lonely and it's this only you, like grace is magnified. You know what I'm saying? You can have a whole like biota of shit sprout off of these like one in immeasurable number odds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for you, is grace then like a kind of like divine concept? Because it's like what I'm really vibing with now is hearing you not even explain, but like describe the kind of like magnitude of the universe and like the kind of, it's like wild that we're even here given all of the like the scale of like cosmological possibility, but like it comes down to, like you said, just like the sun or the earth leaning in our favor and boom, it's warm instead of cold, or like,
For real.
and that's divine.
Hell yeah, because like when I see grace, like I see grace like as such a necessary part to like nigga spirituality, because like, bro, without like grace as a concept, first, the world is like unintelligibly evil. Like unintelligibly. And then like you feel cursed. You know? And so grace is necessary for me to understand this thing as, okay, like I'm God's hair follicle bouncing off of his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? And on the way down, I might see a part of the sweater that God never seen before. And through me, he's experiencing it. And sometimes he might stop and through me marvel at his own work. That's grace.
Damn.
Like,
wow. Okay. Damn.
Yeah. Because otherwise, like, it's not even worth doing. Like, I would choose to see. Like, I think I didn't choose to see because of grace. You know, I might still. I don't know. Nah. For real, the niggas wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Y'all have a question?
I guess this I don't know if this relates or maybe it goes back to like a few questions ago, but I guess to bring us back to what I was mentioning earlier, my mind is slipping me, but the song off of Feet of Clay that we was talking.
El Toro.
You said what?
El Toro.
El Toro. Yeah. So one of and I don't know if you saw it in Zuri's Twitter bio, but our favorite bar is niggas moody but imbued with the funk.
For real.
And like, and so I guess like in one of the things that I guess for me, I'm like, I was like, I identify with that shit. And I think like one was like, like trying to figure out like, okay, like what, like does this, basically, I guess I'm just curious, like what does that bar mean to you? Because I guess for me, I hear it and I'm like, I feel like this is kind of like representative of, I think for me, I hear that I'm like, oh, I think this is what is happening, like what this is what's happening in his music. I think like niggas moody but imbued with the funk. Like I feel like that says a lot to me.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's like a double jump because it's like, okay, because like the bar before is like, send out a prayer a month to the above, niggas moody but imbued with the funk. So basically, like when somebody die, you gotta talk to them through prayer. Also, when somebody die, you get all kind of fly shit. Just two facts about that.
Yeah. What was the last one? What was the second one?
You get all kind of fly shit like off them, like that they don't want no more. Like hold this. Like, and I think like I got a lot of fly shit from my niggas who not here no more. And that's it for real. Like it's like, nigga, like I be fucked up about it because like ultimately, like even on something like that, like it's a lot of people who I really love who never got to hear that or never got to know that was a thing that was gonna happen. And I'd be fucked up, but then it's like, nigga, like I'm really hard, like because of like how my grandma talked. That's why I'm good at rap, for real. Like I'm really good at rapping because like this 13th birthday my mama threw for me one time, like for real. It's like that, like nigga can't, like it's in me now, like you know.
Yeah. I guess like that makes me think about like what is when you say it, like what is it and where is it in relation to your body? Like where like yeah. Just like
What did I say? It? How did I say it? Tell me how I said it.
you said it's in you now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like what is it and like where is it and where does it come out in your music? Like how does that relate to
Oh, I don't know, bro. Like, I think I don't know. I crack my bones a lot. I be thinking it's in between the air and my bones. I think that shit might be like, I don't know. When I think about what it is, it's like, nigga, boom. Like, let's go back to making myself cry. When I be crying, that's it. Like, like when it's like, oh shit. Like you ever be like for example, it was one time I got off stage, my first show back after the car accident in Houston with Jackman. And it was like, bruh, I had went so stupid, bruh. Like, so stupid. Like, I literally went backstage and called the Holy Ghost. Like, I was fuck. Didn't even say nothing. Like, that's it. Like, dude, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like certain times, like, I'll be looking this shit in the face and I'll be like, I would die for this shit, like today now, for what I've already had. And I'm like, all right, bet. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah.
And you get that from first having amazing elders and then at a different time having amazing ancestors. For sure.
Yeah.
But what about your elders? Like, will you say more about like how you got it from your grandma and like how so much of you being the fly rapper that you are has to do with your elders?
Let me give you an example. My grandma said one time, like we was having a conversation about she needed somebody to come replace, like fix her tire, but he needed a ride. And she said, when your ox in the ditch, you gotta get them out. That was the whole sentence. Like somebody was saying something better, and she said, your ox in the ditch, you gotta get them out.
Yeah.
Like, she say shit like that. Like her threats to us is gonna be too wet to fly. Like it's gonna be a storm. Like she say shit like she talk like around shit, like in a real gangster way. Like real, like she talk like how the niggas who wrote the Bible talk. For real. Like for real. It's like so gangster. And like all my old people, they just my country people, all of them, like my daddy, they just say shit. Like my grandmama, like she'll be finna sit down, she'll be like, Lord have mercy. Like that, like little fly shit. I'm a word eater. Like I'm a, you know what I'm saying? I'm a phrase eater. Like
yeah,
that shit really make me like, and knowing how to talk about shit, knowing how to make people laugh, telling them an ordinary story, knowing how to make people giggle when they just ask you how you doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I can hear it even in this conversation. Like there have been a lot of moments, I can't even remember all of them, but like the way we asking you these questions that are like on some level kind of like in the head, but your response is like super visual. Like, I mean, you calling Black studies a potable well, like that to me is like imagery. You talking about a swing state kind of joint, like, you know,
yeah, exactly.
the way your like analysis is so wedded to
and that's because I'm from country people, because they know stuff. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it'd be kind of offensive to the New York homies, because I'd be like wide-eyed and wondering, like, bro, like they don't understand like certain things, like for example, and there's no offense to nobody from New York, but bro, like people from New York throw they trash in the street.
I was just having this conversation with somebody. Like, I was outside of a wings joint and this man pulled up, hopped out, like had a Wendy's bag and just put that shit on the street. And I was like looking at him like, you're not gonna pick that up?
No. and they supposed to be like the most advanced, like, or one of the most advanced humanity looking in the mirror at only humanity, kind of places on earth. Like, bro, I really know because I'm from the city and my family, one generation back, is from the all the way country. People in the city, a lot of times, like for example, and this is another thing, like, because I'm not trying to get like super not trying to be ableist or nothing like that. But like people in the city don't be knowing how to do shit that people in the country know how to do with their life, period, with nothing. Like, period. With way more shit to do it with. Like, and so I seen that, and I also seen like, like when your people talk country and you talk a little bit white because you from the city, it's like you have to grow into understanding. Like I need to listen real hard. Like they really telling me some shit. And like it be shit that my grandmama, who didn't go past the 7th grade, told me that allowed me to orient my entire worldview. Period. With all the studies and all of this. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, like, that's my only compass. You know what I'm saying? We niggas, bro. We don't know where we from. We know who we from. You know? Yeah.
That's wild. Our people are our origins.
Yeah.
Literally, bro. Literally.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing fly about me as a rapper person, even just as a young, handsome man, like counterpart of this generation. Like, that's not from all of my people. Like, it's nothing. Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I think about that a lot as a writer, like, and a writer in this context, like, you know, we out here trying to write dissertations and stuff. And it's like what you said about the kind of edible morsels of language and like the efficiency of just like country speech. I be thinking about that a lot because I'm just like, how do I balance like when to know when to say 5 pages worth of shit or when to say something that'll just be captured in a like 4-word sentence, you know what I'm saying? So that hits.
And it's like the urgency of that, of figuring that out comes, not to be dark, but like when like our old country people like transition, because you realize like, oh my God, they did not say a lot. Like a lot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like that's why like the condensing work is like, I honor that super highly because it's like we making up for a lot of lost everything, you know? Yeah.
Well, that, I mean, I just have one question about then what that means for how you view. So for you, then I'm assuming that means like you never feel the limits of language because there's so much like possibility for how you can arrange things, or do you ever feel constrained by like the form that requires you to operate in language?
Yeah, I actually have this line. It's a fiend for freedom, ring it out this 4-stone language, drip by drip. Like wringing the freedom out of the English language is definitely a chore. But also another thing I learned, how niggas is just like the flyest people on earth, like just period. Like when you talk to your homies, like one thing rap and school have afforded me more than Charlotte is like intimate friends with like international black backgrounds, like black people. And I've been able to take like Zulu. I took Zulu, like that's my elected language at Howard or whatever. And so just hearing how they phrase things, and then crossing media also is the other way that I break that. My baby Zora, like for example, just like you like if you're switching gears between like who hard, like who the legends of like nigga shit, like it's like when you listen to all the best rappers of all time, they all sound way different from each other. You know what I'm saying? And so like switching gears between Zora and the Abbott Elementary and the fucking TikTok and this, like that will like bring the fun back into language because you're more at the venue. You know, sometimes you just got to go to the venue. You know.
Mm.
So it's like the venue is not even like it's not actually a place. Like it's like
No, my friend Teve, Earl is the best thing about this. He's the this nigga Teve is he's a keeper of the word. And I mean that like so unironically. Like I'm being so dead ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's like his birthright to be such. It's so hilarious because it's so nerdy. But like for real, he is that and he honored that super, super highly. And I do too. Like, and so the venue is like sometimes SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot, sometimes Twitter. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of times streets.
Yeah. But wherever it is, you show up. When you show up, you show up.
Out. Yeah. And you listen.
Yeah.
You go there and listen. For sure. Even like, for example, the urgency of that is reflected through like one super fast, super available hip hop phenomenon for all of us is regionalization. We have fuck burgeoning hip hop powerhouses coming out of Memphis, Detroit, Atlanta, New York, LA, Oakland. I'm talking about whole different movements. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Montgomery, like Miami. Like it's like every major black city got their own sound that is supplying like a narrative that's like beautiful enough for it not to matter that they sold from there. You know what I'm saying? And so like
you said to not matter that is what?
That like for example, like someone might be from way across the country, like from South Central, and they might be using slang that I've never heard before, but I want to know what they mean and I want to know what they're saying. And I understand what they mean and I understand what they're saying. And then it's like that beauty of that aesthetic period is now available to me. Like I can enjoy this, all of it, from the dirtiest, the most unrefined to the most polished, like how I can enjoy my own. I was saying all of that to say that the venue, right? It moves and it's a venue everywhere. You know, be there though. Like the people is there regardless. The people is at the venue of the word, period. That's why it's important to be hip hop though. Like, you know, they're there.
Yeah. I think this is like a little unrelated, but picking up on, you said from like unrefined to polished. So this is like unrelated, but like, how do you know when a song is done? Like, how do you know when to not touch it anymore?
When I listen to it and I don't feel no like physical pain in my body, type of thing. You know, when something be wrong with on that shit is like, I be wanting to hurt somebody. You know, like I hear in my like tummy, like hear the fuck up. It'll fuck with me. I can't even listen to it at that point. But yeah, when that's no longer a thing, we're an anxious man.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
but that usually takes a lot. Like it takes a lot to finish a song. For sure.
Yeah. I had one question. Is there anything? So I have some friends. I was like, hey, like I'm talking to MAVI later. Like, what's something that you would want to hear or want to ask them? So I had some friends. They were wondering like if there was just anything that you would change on the route to where you are right now, and kind of like, how did you know? Was there like a sign that you like got that you were like, okay, this is the right path that I'm on?
What, the rap?
Yeah.
I was rapping my whole life. Then a whole bunch of people just started listening to me suddenly one day.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that's not no moral crisis. There's not even no personal crisis. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna happen.
No, that ain't no crisis, bro. Like, it's really not. For real, not even, especially not to where, like, rapping, like, and writing and doing my job, like, hell no. Like, but, like, yeah, it's not too much that, like, I ain't really do too much to bring this on myself. I'm gonna say that. Like, so, like, would I change what did? I mean, people did that shit on their own, bro. You know, I can't change what other people do.
Yeah.
I really can't.
Yeah.
If I could, it would have happened earlier, ain't it? That's probably what I would have changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because, like, I don't know. I wouldn't change shit about this shit, though. Like, this shit got wicked, bro. Like, for example, I made 2 whole albums since Let the Sun came out. And that neither of them 2 is represented in the album that's gonna come out this year. See what I'm saying? So, and that's been through business turmoil, personal turmoil, all of this shit. And like how I look at my career, bro, I guarantee you none of y'all look at it at all. Like, and not in no positive way. Like, the things I think about, like, and I like clamor over and I fear about my career, not them kind of things, like not rap things. It's like, damn, will niggas let me rap kind of things. Or it's like, yeah, that just be the one for real. But I don't know, I don't regret shit though, because like all of my turmoil has directed me toward like even greater manifestations are like the same mission ultimately. And I know if I stay myself, it ain't no deviations from the path. It's just the path, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The path is already, so it's almost like the path is already laid out. You just gotta.
And I ain't know like it was beaters, right? And then it was news to me, right? But it wasn't no crisis.
Yeah.
It wasn't no crisis.
That makes me think of the cover to based off of Shirley Silverstein, where the sidewalk ends.
Yeah.
Like how
he ceased and desisted me over that.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, fuck that nigga. That's crazy. Really? I was wondering why the cover changed. So okay.
But continue.
Yeah. I was just wondering. I was thinking about how like it's like they're looking over the cliff. They don't know like what's there, but like we're talking about this actually, where it's like you're kind of taking the step off the cliff, not knowing fully, you know, but like you're
exactly.
Yeah.
And I was with, it was like it was literally like me and my girl, and like looking over the edge. And that's what, like, you gotta think, In the Earth came out February 21. So that album really about like the last like 6 months of 2020. So that really, like, you remember we was really going outside and it was not smooth. Like, the police was making it look a different way as far as like just the future of the United States, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really looking a different way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that. And it was literally like the uncertainty of the album that was on the other side of it. And my lack of like leverage, confidence, assuredness, anything toward it coming out. And it ended up not coming out. So
yeah.
But it's whatever, bro. Ultimately, bro, I be really hard on myself. And a lot of people be really hard on me too, not even knowing it. Like, oh, we need an album.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I made albums that people won't let y'all hear. For real.
Yeah.
I got one now, niggas. We gotta fight to let it get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what this conversation was about. But I started stressing out. Let's talk about something else.
I didn't want to.
Oh, Show Silverstein. Yeah, we was looking over the edge, though. It was hella uncertainty. We definitely didn't know what the future in local or in the distant held for us. And it was my way of stamping that, bro, I was here during this shit. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And I didn't know either. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Justin, do you have something?
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, you said it. I don't know if you want to. This you said you ain't trying to stress yourself out, and I also didn't.
Oh, ask it.
But I mean, I saw you had tweeted about like, oh, like y'all cool if my next project is out on SoundCloud. I think you tweeted that, unless I missed.
I did.
Okay, yeah. And again, I don't know what all you can get into on it, but I guess like I was just when you was talking about the venue and you said SoundCloud, I thought about that, and then you was talking about all the like, I guess like the what you talking about, dudes cease and desist you over the album cover, just like the legal mess that comes with
being an artist.
Huh?
The legal mess that comes with being a fucking artist.
Yes. And I guess like, yeah, I mean, how does that, I don't know, I guess like, could you talk a bit more about that and how that like,
I'm gonna do a brief. I'm gonna say it like this.
Yeah.
Remember how we was talking about sampling?
Yeah.
Cultural lineage?
Yeah.
All of that. U.S. legal and copyright law is not in the Black oral tradition. That's just what we go leave.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's on some property law shit, and we all know the origins of that.
Right. Exactly. And it's like, but I don't know. You know who get the least and the most protection out under any law in the United States.
Yes.
And that's one that's, man, and bro, for like, I don't know, bro. Like for a little white girl to go on Fallon doing this little black girl dance, and then niggas cease and desist me for having the original. Man, it's like a smack in the face, bro. It's like,
right.
I don't know, but I don't know, bro. We could talk about something else. We might have to
I guess it's I wanted to
but you see that though, right? Like,
yeah,
like bro, like I don't gross, like bro, off of nobody's song. I ain't never gonna get not never. I've never come close to making no livable money off of nobody individual sample, never, ever, or individual, like nothing, never. I don't know, bro. I just know how this shit work, bro, and I know how this shit go behind the scenes, bro. And I know like niggas feel like they could do me a certain way for reasons, like for real. And I don't know conspiratorial shit neither.
Yeah. Is it limits to like how far you want your music to go, or maybe another way of putting it is like, is there limits to like how far you will accept it going, given like what you're saying about, labels and holding your stuff and like
no,
like
gotta go humongous, like you got like we doing propaganda, like we being like you know what I'm saying. You got to. That's just like.
But everybody ain't down for the revolution though, right? Like, I mean, you want
everybody don't gotta be down for the revolution. To look. So this conversation where Earl told me that the music is the fuel for the propaganda and shit. This conversation began, and I didn't want to say that at first because it was kind of controversial. But I don't know. He'll prove the same. He said, Mavi, don't be underground. If you really, really care about really doing anything, why would you purposely limit your reach in any capacity in order to be able to punch up? It's a good question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like at the point where it's like, boom. I don't know, bro. It's like, who is that shit a seal of approval to? Right? And are they the main first. Let me rewind. This has nothing to do with signing to a major, working with ABC Corporation. None of that. I just mean insofar as like niggas have a tendency to like purposely set themselves back in terms of their artistic progress in order to shake their fist at the industry. And they purposely stop short and they reach to the people a lot of times. And thirdly, them people is by and large, It's gonna sound, I don't know, this is getting weird. But listen. Per meal per black child, the people who put like the I don't want this or that are by and large less responsible. No. That don't mean like people who say like, bro, I don't want white people to say nigga at my music, or I want niggas to come to my car. That's not what I mean by limiting yourself or being underground or none of that. What I literally mean by that is nigga being unwilling to write the song that he knows in his head and in his heart and in the people's ears. And then being shaking his fist at the nigga who is. You know what I'm saying? There's a real urgency in the word, and your like prolificness is like a really high top in this shit. And so like to do this shit to your best of your ability, you gotta kind of be a little intense about it. Yeah. But that's why so in terms of like, there are things like I don't want my music or my money or my pockets ever associated with, for sure. A lot of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But is there a place where I don't want my music to go? Unless it's like no black people there, no. I think black people pretty much, you know. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I just was gonna ask then what that means for like your relationship to like critics or like to just the people who consume your music. Like you have a clear purpose about this is a like propagandistic effort. Like that's what I'm making it out of and what I'm making it for. But of course, the people who receive it or like how it's received is beyond your control. So like, do you have any like, do you just like not engage beyond that, or like what happens when people misunderstand your work or like try to interpret it towards different ends or whatever?
Okay, so first, the reason why I can be a little bit dispersonal about the like mistranslation that's like native to this mission is because we speaking in English to begin with. Like this ain't no like direction of intention through vocalisms that's connected to our spiritual self and way of being. It's just not that. Even at my most like it's close to my heart, it ain't that, because it's in this language. So you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we talking white to begin. So, and then my thing about critics though is like, bro, honestly, like where I was saying, it wasn't a crisis when a lot of people started listening at once. Bro, it was like a lot of people who were saying like the same, like, I remember like in 10th grade, the thing was like, oh, we can't hear what MAVI's saying, because I had like a shitty mic at the time. And niggas used to keep saying that shit like every song. And I guess what I kept doing? I just kept dropping the song. At the end of the day, whatever criticisms people make, I make a million more self-criticisms. And I'm also just on a path to like artistic self-improvement. And, you know, when it's not cogent, then it's just not cogent. And I can send like my hounds on like attack him a mission. But like when it is, like I can take it on the chin and stride pretty well, I think. And because like I've been like in label situations and stuff. Like for example, I hadn't been to the label offices like in New York City, my first trip up there, and play niggas music, and they like, oh, so like what's it like? I ain't like the Ye and the Def Jam office. Like, I've been here for real. Like that don't matter. Like I know I'm hard, bro. And before this amount of people knew I was hard, when 5 people knew I was hard, I knew I was hard. You know?
Right. What's your sign, by the way?
Libra.
Okay, cool.
Got it.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit? We don't want to take up too much of your time, but like just
we doing good.
Okay, cool. Could you just talk about kind of your new work and what you where you see that going, and what
It's called Laughing So Hard It Hurts, and it's kind of autobiographical about like just me falling in love and me drinking a lot of alcohol and me going on tour and all of the hijinks that are in those three things mixed together. And like the visual motif for the album is like our bees. Cause I don't know. I feel like niggas is bees. Like you socialism.
What is it?
You socialism. It's an ecological term that sounds like a sociological term, and it referred to the EU and its socialism, and it referred to like how the coordination on a chemical and like even kinetic, like through dancing and wiggle level between bees is so like highly advanced. They communicate on the level of like cells in your body, like toward a common life goal, and they willing to murk themselves out like cells in your body is everything. And so that was like really intriguing to me because how I was saying like we all BDBs on the back of God's neck. And then the other thing that was intriguing about the bees as a visual motif was like pollination, like as a concept. And like, I don't know. I feel like the human resources of Africa, pollinate Earth. They've been doing it, like Daniel. In this whole like active history,
Right.
And I represent our ancestors like coming and dusting a little bit of us off onto the next flower.
Yeah. So I guess like, what do you see as your relationship? What do you see as your relationship to Africa? Like as a like politically, culturally, like obviously the place that like we originate from, but like as far as like today's politics, like how do you relate to Africa as a place?
A lot of my friends is Africans, and a lot of my friends is like real Africans. Like for example, like one thing that I be vocal about in Africa, like I try to only speak to shit in Africa that I know. Like, oh my God. And I don't want to sound reductive or anti-Black in saying, but Africa is like a little tiny bit like gangbanging. Like, you could really like be saying, like if you come to like in the middle of the 60s and the Hoovers, like, can't we all just get along? It's not the humanism you think it is necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my relationship to Africa so first, like just understanding the economic relations that keep Africa where it is super important to me, because and seeing it as like not a failure of African human resources or African resources, but a matter of the direction of African resources out of Africa. And yeah, beyond that, I just try to learn from my friends whose families are there about like what's going on, what America's doing, what Russia's doing, what these niggas doing, what these niggas doing. I just like that. And then I go and get my news. So like, yeah. Like what's going on in Ethiopia is like an example, or like something I learned through my friends, like lived experiences. And I want to speak to that with them on that behalf. I want to be informed from involved people in Africa everywhere I go, and then I'll let that define my action. That's why it's a little bit like game game.
Yeah.
You don't know when niggas got to forgive each other before you can't really go say, hey, let's all form an economic thing under the gold dinar. Like it's not gonna happen, bro. Right. These niggas really hate each other for reasons that like you would really hate somebody over to, like for real. And so that like that resolution of that intracommunal space is like literally where I live, even on this side of the ocean. Because I want to know how, shit that we do, we can be as Black men might implicate those same kind of like organization of forces over here.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
So, yeah. That's how I think Africa, like bigger nigga community.
Yeah.
But yeah, for real. Like same way how we got Chicago, and then Chicago niggas, them and them don't get along. And LA niggas, them and them don't get along. Florida niggas, them and them don't get along.
Mhm.
Kind of how Africa is a little bit. And it's related to like stuff. And like it's related to splintering, tearing, reassembly. You know?
Yeah.
It's the venue of humanity, Africa. Yeah. like we solve Africa, we done solved the shit.
Yeah.
like we done solved the whole shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not to speak to its unsolvability, but that's to speak to like it's like imminence and like ubiquity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Now that reminds me of well, first I like that because just that like I find that a lot of times like niggas think of Africa and they like place it in like this distant past, and it's like nah, like this place is still like, you know, active and like whatever. But yeah, like my roommates, she's Eritrean, so like yeah, I get like I learn a lot about like what Black culture there looks like, and like they really be like,
Right.
and like East Africa like gets a rap for like being like, oh, I'm not Black, but she's like nah, like Eritreans, like we're Black, like we are niggas, like
yeah, bro.
So it's been cool to like be able to like get more informed about like the current stuff going on rather than just like what was Africa. But
For real. And even if you do Africa on the basis of who opt into Blackness, you're gonna start to see political patterns form around when, why, how, you know, around that too.
Yeah.
You know. So, but for sure, Africa is just like it's the venue of humanity for me right now. It's a venue of humanity for the global economy, the political world, everywhere. Everybody.
Yeah. That also makes me think of Sylvia Winter. We haven't talked about her yet, but like because for her, like it's like yeah, we all originate in Africa, like as languagers and as like storytellers, like that's where like shit originates. So I guess like could you talk about like what Winter you've read and like what you get from her? Because I thought I was like I haven't met many people who have like
let me see
the academy. So
let me tell you what I read. Damn, what that shit was. It was like an essay though. And I was reading that shit when I was like a boy, like 18, 19. But it was because I didn't know what Afro-pessimism was. I'm trying to figure out, because I'll be posting on my philosophical show on my Finsta.
I feel that. I have a Finsta for my poetry now, so.
Damn.
Trying to think, was it unsettling? The coloniality of being?
Bro, it was like, it was some shit. I know it was like a PDF I read online. Hold on. Let me see. Let me just search Sylvia Winter PDF. Yes, unsettling the coloniality of being. Yes, that is.
That's the, because you said Afro-pessimism. I was like, that's the one. Because that's my favorite essay from her. I
be reading shit off Twitter threads. I don't be remember the title.
Yeah. So what do you like? What do you like gain from her? Like, what do you what like? How did she change how you like thought? Because I feel like once you read Winter, you kind of can't think the same anymore.
Yeah, it just. I don't know. It made me understand, like, I don't know. It made me feel sad a little bit. Like it do the curse thing with me again. Cause like, I don't know. Like, it made me feel bad like a little bit. Cause like stuff that like I thought like was words like that was like empowering. It was like a designation in like a real concrete way that you don't understand unless you're like, yeah, this is what Black is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was a little depressing, but like really like encouraging at the same time.
What do you find the encouragement? Because I agree with like finding encouragement in that, but a lot of people don't. So what about that do you find encouragement in?
Cause bro, when you read scholarly, you supposed to like punch back, little nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any philosopher right to tell you what shit is without I think they want you to engage with the work like in a critical way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think like if that critical way is empirical, right? Which is like, okay, let me see this shit as different and disprove it through my lived experience, then that's a whole nother mission instead of missions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But not even on a disprove, but like, yeah.
What do you think of Afro-pessimism? That's like the buzzword in the academy right now. Like nobody wants to say it.
I don't know. It's cool, but it's boring. Like, and I don't think like honestly, bro, I don't know if like most Black people will. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do all of that. I don't want to do it.
Okay. I feel it.
But I don't know if it, like, we talk about political utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
That's just where I stay with it. But it is, I don't know. It depends. I think if it's used like as a philosophical like check on the telling of history, I fuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the retelling of history, then yeah. But like just as like a thing to sit in, like as a thought space, I don't fuck with it too much. I like to do stuff. Yeah. And I like to try.
I feel that. Okay. How do we feel? Kristen, I know you have to hop off soon. Do we have any thing else we wanted to touch on? Or?
I mean, I'm just like super grateful for the time and like,
yeah,
I feel like this was like something I could do all the time, like every day. Like it's like nice to like both vibe at the same time on a kind of like thinking level at the same time as a like kind of feeling, just like connecting level. So
yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate you showing up and just holding space with us.
Yeah. I appreciate you too, Kristen. I appreciate you so just today. I'm some real niggas on my mama, bro. Yeah. And like, yeah, I like y'all. That's cool cat.
Appreciate it.
The South will do it to you, you know. The South got it like that.
I appreciate y'all letting a non-Charlotte nigga pull up.
Nah, get this nigga out of here, bro. Hey, this nigga don't got no ties to East Charlotte. You gotta. Hey, the first place I ever lived in Charlotte was Lake Point and Teal Point. Fun fact about me. And then like, while we moved out of Teal Point to university, was like the door underneath us had got like kicked in, right? Like on some raid shit. And like my daddy always used to tell me like, oh, like I can't have my son living in this type of environment no more. But then like his baby cousin was like, you don't know your daddy sold a lot of dope, bro. And I was like, oh shit. Funny, man. But, hey, but for real though, bro, please like stay tapped with me. Stay attached to me. Yeah, let me know what y'all doing and thinking.